Hey, I'm Aaron George.
I'm Jess George.
We're happy to cook. We'd love to come up with a fun name for this, like Aaron and Jess's cooking, but this is our first time.
Yeah, we weren't totally prepped to be on a cooking show, so we're gonna do our best.
But that said, we love to cook together. We love to cook with our family. Most times, it's actually Jess doing the cooking, and I just kind of fall behind her and do cleaning steadily throughout the night. So she's, I think, going to lead a lot of this. We're happy to share a dish that is very special to us at home.
So we are going to make Italian wedding soup today, which is one of my favorite dishes ever.
So let's start. We're going to make our meatballs. Can I hand you the ingredients? We'll go one step at a time. So we start with a half a pound of ground chuck.
Yes.
Next, we have a quarter cup of Italian panko breadcrumbs. You're going to mix those right in with the ground chuck. 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. You know, I always get, I mix up tablespoons and teaspoons often. I feel like look for the B and try to decide which is which. So this is definitely 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese.
The big T.
And the B. And then, there's small T's in this recipe here. Right?
That's probably my fault. I think I typed that up.
We have a tablespoon of fresh parsley. I think this is parsley, right?
Yes.
It's green.
Yes.
We have 1 clove of garlic, minced nice. You can see for those of you that are able to look on the overhead camera, minced really nice and fine so that it mixes in. I've made meatballs before where the ingredients kind of clump in and then it just doesn't tend to come together quite as well. So the better you mince it, the more it'll mix in with the meatballs themselves. Next, we're going to add a little bit of milk. This is 2 tablespoons of milk. 1 large egg that's beaten up. Now this is where we lose the B and we have a teaspoon of kosher salt.
Okay, throw it in.
All right. A half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then 1.5 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. This is my kind of recipe where you just put it all in one place. Like it's just take everything, put it in one big dish, mix it all up together.
Do you want to do the honors?
I do want to do the honors. Yeah. Should I do fork or hands? Should I just dive right in?
I just think you should throw both hands in there and just go for it.
I washed my hands before we started.
Okay.
So ready to go?
Go for it.
Yes. All right.
It's kind of like opening a Christmas present. You know, like you don't want to do it too delicately. You really go for it.
Be aggressive. We want to just make sure everything mixes up really well.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Get a little bit of everything in the bite. And then I brought along a little cookie scoop because that is what I always use to make my meatballs because it makes it so much easier. They're kind of pre-sized. That looks perfect.
Does that look good?
That looks amazing.
All right. I'll let you get to scooping.
All right, and then you just grab your scoop, just go in, and then you just put that on a cookie sheet. Again, they don't have to be perfect. You can just kind of get different sizes if you end up doing that, which is fine.
Whenever I make meatballs at home without the scoop, I feel like I start and the first one's really big, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna run out of stuff. And then the last meatball or two is this tiny little thing, and I'm like, I hope that one works. So I think the scoop is actually a real handy way. And plus, look, your hands are nice and clean.
Are clean. I'm sorry.
And I've got the meatball gunk on it, so I don't have to wash.
Well, since your hands are, do you want to make them look a little bit nicer then? I feel like you don't have to, but if someone's hands are already messy, just go for it. And then again, what's really nice is that you are just gonna throw these in the fridge. So if you do this the day before, you can just prep it, and then we're not even going to cook these. You're not even gonna put these in the oven, you'll see later, but we're just gonna drop them right in the soup pot. So you can just prep them, put them in the fridge, and then you'll use them when your soup is ready.
All right.
See, you're right. See, look, we're gonna have that one tiny little meatball at the end. Here, do you want to just hand form that one? Compete with the cookie thing?
I got it. Look, last one, tiny one, just like we talked about. All right.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So we have our meatballs. Do you want to wash hands? And I'll throw these in the fridge. Yep. And they'll just stay in the fridge until we're ready for them. All right, so we've got some olive oil going in our pot, and then we're gonna get our veggies, all the stuff that smells good, that onion, garlic, you know, when you're making soup in your house, just smells like comfort. That's what we're gonna start with. So we've got onion. How much onion are we doing? We normally do like a small onion, but what does the
So the recipe
officially-
calls for 1 cup of yellow onions. These are finely chopped up.
We'll get those going.
And we're gonna let that brown, right? Give it like 30 seconds. or a
Yeah,
minute
we'll
or
give
so.
it just a few minutes, and then we'll add our carrots and celery.
1 cup of carrots, 1 cup of celery. So again, this is nice. 1, 1, 1. Easy to remember. You got that cup measuring bowl, and just do 1 of each.
Yeah, and again, this is why soup is great. If you have more carrot, throw it in. If you have another vegetable, you throw it in. This is why I love soup.
Nobody's gonna know
It's
at the end.
easy. No one knows. No one knows what it's supposed to taste like. All right, so we've got some celery we're adding in there. We're gonna add some carrots,
And then a little garlic too, right?
and then of course garlic.
This is Italian.
You
right?
always have to have garlic. All right, then we'll add that garlic in there.
And that's 3 cloves, again, minced up, so get it nice and finely minced.
And again, we always go a little heavy on the garlic.
Yep.
We always chop up extra garlic. All right, so we'll mix that up. Smell
Sound good?
that. The best.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. All right, we'll give that a minute to brown up.
Can I do the chicken stock?
Yeah.
All right. So we will be looking at 7 cups of chicken stock.
Go
Let's
for
do
it.
it.
Pour that chicken stock in.
All right, perfect.
Beautiful.
And then a little dill, oregano, salt, and pepper.
So I will say, this is why I've tried a lot of Italian wedding soup recipes, and I think the reason that I love this one is because of the dill. Again, I normally go a little heavy on the dill because I think it's the thing that differentiates it and makes it taste really fresh and delicious. So don't leave out the dill. It's the thing that you can't leave out in the recipe.
So they call for 1/4 cup. I think we might have done a little bit more there.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. And then we'll add our kosher salt, of course, our pepper,
A teaspoon of kosher salt, a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper,
and oregano.
and a teaspoon of oregano.
So now we're ready to add our pasta, of course, for an Italian wedding soup. I like the acini di pepe. It's smaller, almost pearl-like noodles, and I just think that it helps keep the broth, so there's not too many noodles in the soup. So that's my preference, and we're gonna add that in there and let that cook for about 6 minutes. Okay, so we told you guys that the nice thing about this, yeah, this is still rolling. The nice thing is that the meatballs, you don't have to cook them. So you don't have to brown them or do them in the oven or anything separately. You just drop them right in the soup. So we're gonna do that
Should I
now.
go?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
grab our meatballs and we'll just drop them right in the soup. So it's super easy, just saves you a step.
All right.
All right, so we can just pick those up and drop them right in. And the other thing that I like, is this is kind of foolproof, is when they float is when you know they're done. So you just drop them in, and when they float to the top of the pot, then you know you are ready to go. Beautiful. All right, look at that. I think we're good.
You ready to go? Yeah.
The meatballs have risen. All right, so now we're down to the final steps. Greens, of course. So we're gonna add spinach
For health.
for health.
Yeah, for
this
health.
Is,
That's more
this is what
important.
you're excited
Yeah.
about, the healthy part.
And they say we julienne the spinach.
Uh-huh.
Can you explain to me a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, it's like a nice thin slice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at that. I just rip.
So you've decided that we should add spinach for health, and
Yes.
then I'm gonna make sure we add cheese just to balance things
Yeah,
out. So
yeah.
yeah. So a nice bit of Parmesan cheese in there.
So 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese and 2 cups of spinach leaves.
Perfect. All right, and then we're just gonna let that go for a minute, let those greens brighten up, and we are ready for Italian wedding soup.
And you get to enjoy it.
All right. Should we try it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Ready?
Oh, I want some meatball
Go
in
for it.
mine.
Cheers.
Cheers.
good. That's good.
Good work.
Enjoy.